Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tides of Lore. I am your host, Dr. Legend, here again for the second time. We're back. We haven't been canceled, and we're here to tear shit up as always. I am joined by my esteemed colleagues. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the rejects from the Disney movies who couldn't be princes. To my left, our co-guildmaster Marcus.
What's going on, bro?
And just below him, Failure. Because
hello?
That's exactly what happened when he auditioned for Anastasia.
Oh my god.
To my right, the Prince, or the Frog, Zelgadis. How you doing, buddy?
How's it going?
And just below him, everybody's favorite version of Prince Charming, where he doesn't get the girl, Andric.
I hate all of you.
And we have a special guest joining us live from the Promised Land, where the cheesesteaks flow like wine, New Jersey, Grand Bumper.
What's up, boys?
What's up, Granny?
All right, I would just like to apologize now, today, tomorrow, and forever for all the ridiculous shit that's going to come out of his mouth. We don't have a censor filter. We have not pre-screened this guest. So, I mean, if you're sensitive to anything, if you're easily offended, if anything makes you cry that normally shouldn't, you could turn this off right now. We don't need a lawsuit, okay? We're still getting over all the shit Zell pulled last week.
What?
Isn't he sponsored by Olive Garden?
That's
I
a
wish.
fucking God. They'd go out of business if they sponsored Granny. They wouldn't. How would they make any money?
Guys.
Half of their GDP depends on Grand's dinner. All right,
Oh my
we
God.
have an amazing show. Why? Because BlizzCon! It's coming, guys. It's gonna be here in a week, and we're celebrating that because Legends Anonymous, the greatest guild in all of Azeroth, is having 8 guildies attend this pristine event. We're rocking it. We've got the jerseys printed. The flights are made. The hotels are set. We're all going to be there, except for Andric. He's going to be watching at home on his stupid little screen
Unfortunately.
via the live stream. It's sad. We tried to get him to go, but he said, "I'm sorry, guys. I'm a virgin. I can't make it. I'm trolling for booty on Moonguard, and this would greatly impede my process."
Pretty much, yeah. Nailed it.
So, guys, BlizzCon is here. We've been planning this trip for months now, since the tickets went on sale. Even before then, we postponed a raid night just to try and buy tickets, and only got one that day. But we were successful Saturday, day 2. We scored him. Everybody pitched in except for Granny. He just hung around like a big bitch and didn't do anything.
We carried him just like we do in the raid.
Oh,
Yes!
Oh,
Yes!
thought you weren't going to go there.
Sick burn.
If we
Think
did
it'll be like
carry
10
him, he
minutes.
wouldn't be falling in any of those pits.
Oh, God. I hate you guys.
He doesn't fall, he jumps. It's not like he's walking along and falls off the ledge. He blinks right off.
I voluntarily do it.
You die and come back more than Brett Favre's career, Granny. Come on.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Damn.
Rip Brett
Oh.
Favre.
Rest in peace, buddy. So, yeah, BlizzCon. You guys excited? Is this something you guys been waiting for? More than 6.2? More than Legion? More
Yeah,
than...
definitely.
Yeah.
First time going, definitely very excited. Can't wait to get out there, meet you guys, and check out BlizzCon for the first time ever.
So this is not
It's gonna be
just
awesome.
your first time at BlizzCon. This is guys your first time over in California too, right?
For me, yes, I've never been to California before.
Zell, Granny?
I was there on a layover to Hawaii, so I've only briefly seen it. So, no.
You farted in LAX and just...
Yes.
left
I had garlic cheese fries in LAX and moved on. They were pretty good, I'm not going to lie.
Of course, that's what he remembers about going to LAX is the food.
This motherfucker thinks Olive Garden's the gospel. Why do you think he'd think garlic cheese fries from a fucking airport would be delicious?
Tour of Italy, baby.
Tour of Italy in LAX.
Yes.
God help us. What about you, Zell? You're a native of Canadian. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm super excited. First time, like Failure, so it's gonna be amazing. I'm really, really hyped. I can't wait. It's only 1 week away.
I have to mention this because Zell told me. I don't know if he told you guys this, but apparently, allegedly, Zell will not be joining us for all the festivities at BlizzCon because he would like to bail during certain panels to walk his happy ass to Disneyland just to experience
Wow.
At least Universal Studio.
it. It's further away.
What?
Yeah, Universal
Do you,
Studios.
do you not read a map? Do they not teach that in Kenyatta?
It's got, I mean, you got just going there. You got to experience everything, right?
If-
Not just BlizzCon.
If
So
I knew that's what you wanted, I would have told you to come a day earlier. Because that's what
I
me and
know.
my wife and I will be going to Universal Studios the day before. Spend the whole fucking day there.
well, lessons learned for next year, right, Hendrik?
We'll try to
Sure.
convince them next
Ooh.
time.
Sure, Zell.
Well, no. In all honesty, like this is my first time, like I was saying, and honestly, I'm super super excited, and it's gonna be. I know it's gonna be hella amazing, and I actually will tell you that I've learned a life lesson through this whole process. I've learned that that there's a fine line between people being super excited and like genuinely happy for you, and being angry and vicious just because that's all you've been talking about for the last 8 months. So, it's going to be really, really, really fun. And the best thing I'm looking forward to is kind of meeting you guys. I mean, we've been talking almost every day for the last year or so. So just kind of getting to see you guys is going to be really, really amazing. And that's what I'm looking forward to most of all. I mean, BlizzCon is happening, but just getting together with the guildie is going to be the best. The icing on that Sunday.
I really fear that because we're used to Granny having push to talk. Now he's going to be uncensored.
Yeah, no filter, dude. You guys are fucked. Good
Yeah,
luck.
no kidding.
Not at all.
Also,
Just think of all the bloopers.
just to ask Zell and Failure, is this your first time like in America too, or? I know Zell's been to Buffalo, but that don't fucking count.
That is my impression of the States is Buffalo. So I
That
kind
is a
of
horrible impression of America.
Yeah.
If
We're
you,
having
want
snow.
if you want impression of Buffalo for people who haven't been to Buffalo, go out, get some rancid Mexican food, shit in your toilet, and stare at it. That's Buffalo, New York.
yeah. So I'm looking forward.
I
to
apologize to our viewers in Buffalo, but
I
get
was
the
gonna
fuck
say.
out of there.
We're
Leave.
2 episodes into the lifespan of this podcast, and we've already alienated an entire section of the state.
Nobody in Buffalo's listening to us.
If-
They haven't even gotten computers yet.
Oh my God.
Shaking out of their
They
houses.
still
with the
calculate
snow.
that shit with an abacus. I saw it on a Man versus Food teller. It's like, how much do you owe?
Oh my God.
Yeah, Failure. Have you been to the States yet?
Oh yeah, I used to travel a lot with work, so I've been to quite a few cities in the States before.
Oh, okay. What do you
Old
like?
hat for me.
Oh, all right.
Pardon?
Have you been to California though?
I've never been to California. Never made it that far.
Oh, okay. It's awesome. My brother Marcus and myself, we lived in California. He still does. I moved recently, but I mean, SoCal is our bread and butter. We lived there for 20 years together. We know like the back of our hand. Kidding.
Good
This is
God.
like, wait, what?
I gave him left field.
You know what's great
but-
about living in SoCal was when we went to BlizzCon 09, it was like an hour drive for us to go to BlizzCon, and we were meeting people like, yeah, I'm from Australia, and I'm from Scotland.
Holy
I'm
God.
like, yeah, I'm from an hour down the freeway.
And our happy asses still got fucking hotels nearby. We were that lazy. We didn't want to stay there. So I think we're the only ones in the guild who are going this year who actually have been to a BlizzCon event. We went in 09. If you guys remember 09, it was a wonderful event. Cataclysm got announced, and that was a big shit. WoW was at its peak, highest number of subscribers until Cata. We didn't know it then, but that was the fall. And if you guys are good at spelunking, you can find a video of myself at BlizzCon at the Sound-Alike contest. And I firmly believe that the reason they no longer have the Sound-Alike contest was because of my entry. That's
Yeah,
my
they
story,
did.
and I'm sticking to it.
They didn't want to. The viewership plummeted as soon as they
Yeah,
saw
exactly.
your face on there. So
So
Oh, I love
if you guys find me, post a comment below. Make me feel happy. If not, who cares? So yeah, BlizzCon's coming up. I mean, it feels like after we got the tickets, not a lot of stuff was announced. It was kind of like, cool, we got the tickets, and then we were like, oh fuck, now what? It's just the wait to BlizzCon. And 6 months ago, now it's here. It's a week away, and I couldn't be more thrilled. We have a bunch of cool shit. The schedule is released. I don't know if it's. I remember in 09 it started a lot earlier. Is this year starting later now than any other previous year?
Yeah, they almost always start the opening ceremony at 10, and this year they're starting it at 11. So I don't know why the change was made. Maybe it's due to the lack of panels, because usually they announce an expansion at most BlizzCons. So the opening ceremony goes from like 10 to 1, because they have the opening ceremony and then the WoW panel following. So this year it's starting a little bit later, because there's just not a lot of like big panels that they're doing. There's just quite a few small ones.
Yeah, that's good. Well, there's gonna be a lot of time in the morning, to get to know one each other. So, kind of what Offzel's saying. Everyone else, except for Andric, rest in peace, buddy. How do you guys feel about finally meeting in person? Granny.
I feel like it's not going to be anything weird. Like we're just gonna we do every day. We click. We're going to be there. It's going to be like a couple old buddies. Yeah, I think it's be cool.
Not all of us click, but go ahead.
Oh.
Ouch! I think you legitimately hurt his feelings just then.
This
He
is my.
visibly upset.
Is that the mouse?
This is it. This is what.
Man,
this is what
that
makes
left
me.
button is so worn out to the bone.
Yeah. What number mouse is that? Like 473?
I lost count. I lost count.
What about you, Daryl?
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I don't. I know you guys. We're meeting, but I already feel like I know you. It's not like I'm going to meet strangers. We spend so much time together. I think it'll be. I think it's going to be pretty epic.
Yeah.
Bro?
Well, for me, it's more of just kind of getting to just do other things outside of just sitting at your computer. Like, instead of sitting at our computers, we're going to be doing fun stuff together. We're going to be going out to dinner and lunch, and we're going to be drinking together. So that's what I think is going to be great, is that we get to see each other outside of just, right now I'm in my jammies and a t-shirt. Now we're all going to be going to karaoke bars. So that's what I'm looking forward to most, is just the quality time outside of the computer room with everybody. So
Yeah, it'll be nice to see you guys who are not actually yelling at each other for screwing up. Well, actually, we only really yell at Granny. Sometimes Zell. Speaking of which, Zell, Zell, I feel like, is the one. That's all he's been talking about.
Well, you know what? I think people who aren't gamers don't get it. Like, they don't understand what, like, when you tell people, I'm going to meet some guys that I've never met in person not across the world, but you know what I mean? Like, in California, and they're like, what? What happens if they're killers? Or, like,
What happens if they're killers?
Well, we already know your reputation, Zell. I think we're well covered. We just need to worry about Rich.
That does not need to be revealed on the podcast. But I'm saying, like,
Too late.
People who aren't gamers, or who don't play WoW, who don't play Blizzard games, who aren't in guilds, don't really understand how, like, I could say that I know you guys very well. Like, I've been talking to some of you, like Marcus and even Rain, for like almost clearly 2 years, every day, except for the time they took breaks. So it's just like, I consider you guys as part of like really good friends, as closest friends that I would see like IRL. So it's going to be really interesting to take the screen away and kind of just see you guys in person.
And what's going to be great about BlizzCon is, for those of you that haven't attended, is you're going to meet a lot of other people that play the game, and you're going to talk to them, and there's just kind of this sense of kind of relief where everyone's like, yes, we're home. Like, it's nerd central, and I think you're all going to enjoy, meeting new people as well. Not just us, but you'll be in line and you'll be talking to somebody about Overwatch, or you'll be talking to somebody about WoW, and it just kind of takes away that shield that we all put up as gamers to other people. It kind of it gets broken down once you get to BlizzCon. It's just it's a Shangri-La for gamers.
I think.
Yeah, maybe I can finally found a good guild.
Wow!
That was a good one.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Damn.
Jake. After we murder Daryl, we'll have a free ticket to BlizzCon if you want to come by, take that drive.
That's pretty enticing. I don't know.
We've been. I know we're all beating up together and getting excited. We're leaving poor Andrew out because he's not going. But anyways, he'll be watching live, as many of you will. So, BlizzCon this year. I mean, before it really felt WoW focused, but now with Blizzard has so many games. Overwatch was announced last year. Most people are actually finally going to sit behind the screen and play it. I mean, what are you guys hyped for? What is your expectations game-wise, besides, Legends Anonymous going into the actual event?
I'll go ahead and start with, I was looking forward to BlizzCon because I thought we were going to get an expansion announcement, which turned out to be Legion, which they announced in August 6th. Now,
It's kind of bullshit.
I honestly, I feel like it takes away from the experience of BlizzCon to announce it at Gamescom in Germany. But I know why they did it. They needed to announce it and get it out there. So I was a little disappointed in that because I would have liked to have been there. Because I've been at BlizzCon when an expansion was announced, and that was Cataclysm, and it just blew everybody away. And I think Legion would have blown away BlizzCon. I think the reactions of the people in Germany were not indicative of probably the reactions of the people sitting at home watching it. So
They're still picking up pieces of that wall.
yeah, I know. This is one of those things where I felt like those type of announcements should have been saved for BlizzCon because I think it's their show instead of just Gamescom where they had 2 hours or an hour and a half.
I feel the same way, but, I'm trying to get excited for other things that are going to be there that they haven't announced yet.
Yeah, for me, I'm primarily, maybe I'm a little different than most WoW players who play a lot of Blizzard games. Like, WoW is primarily my game, so I'm really excited to hear more details about Legion, get really deep into the story, and get, additional information about the classes and the artifacts and all that. I'm looking forward to that. The other game I am looking forward to, though, is one that I haven't still received a beta invitation, but which is Overwatch, which
Come on, Blizzard.
I know Blizzard.
Well,
I know it's just late, Blizzard, and you're gonna give it to me, so I'm not
Give you
upset.
something.
It's stuff customs.
As far as I'm concerned, Blizzard, I like to get kissed before I get fucked.
Jesus.
I know it's in the mail. It will be there, so
It's
I'm
in the
still
mail.
expecting it.
That's why you're failing. Yeah.
I don't think that's how those work, though. I'm just
Listen,
gonna let
listen.
here. That don't work.
Well, I think you're gonna have to call Steve over at tech support and put in a ticket.
Blizzard and I know how it works. Don't worry, we have a system.
Say so.
Hit me up after the show.
Oh God, help us. What about you, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of disappointed when they announced Legion at Gamescom because that, like Marcus said, it takes away a lot of the kind of grandeur that BlizzCon brings to the forefront of the Warcraft community. But, what are you going to do? They were kind of in a position where they needed to get out there and kind of reassure folks that they were going to take the game in a positive direction after what happened with all the shit in Warlords. So I can understand why they did it. As far as looking forward to things at BlizzCon specifically, there's not a lot apart from Legion information. I mean, I was kind of optimistic that they might announce a new Diablo 3 expansion, but I guess that's not going to be the case.
They
I think
don't
there's
have
only
Diablo
one.
anything. Look
I think
at the
there's just
map.
one Diablo 3 panel on Friday.
At 3:30 they're doing a Blood and Treasure new content features Reaper of Soul. That sucks. And they don't
Yeah,
even
so I'll
have,
be
like-
excited. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just-
No, I was just going to say, so I'll be excited to see that panel just because I love Diablo. It's fun. But I'm kind of disappointed by its representation specifically.
I think it's
But
the
I
stage
mean-
is right for an expansion announcement for Diablo.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe we'll be surprised.
Well, I think Blizzard's trying to take like a two-step approach here. Not only did they announce Legion at Gamescom, but they also seem to really be pushing their esports division right now because I mean they've got a lot of esports going on specifically at BlizzCon. They've got Warcraft Arena Championships. They've got the HOTS Heroes of the Storm Championship. They've got the Hearthstone Championship, the StarCraft 2 Championship. I mean, all of Blizzard esports is basically centered on BlizzCon, so there's going to be a lot of people watching that stuff.
Yeah,
Definitely. I've actually been watching today some of the esports. It's actually started the qualification rounds, and it's been pretty interesting. I watched the Hearthstone, and it was actually a good watch. I'm actually pretty excited to go there and see some of the esports. In the past, not really interested in that stuff. But after watching over the last couple months, sort of getting into Heroes, getting into Hearthstone, I'm actually pretty interested in it. It's a good watch, and I think a lot of people will enjoy it there.
I got you, Grand Dumper.
I guess the only thing I can say is I'm on Zell stance. I don't play many games aside, Warcraft is my game. I dabble in Diablo, and so I'm excited. I've actually never been to any kind of convention, so I don't know what to expect as far as floor layout and what I'm going to walk into, what I'm going to see.
They have a map
So,
just in case
well,
you
that's
run into walls or shit.
That's how we did though. No,
Obviously, this was put here fakely. They said there's a bathroom here, and there's nothing here. I'm just going to pee on the floor.
Nice.
Secret passage, guys.
I want the full element of surprise.
Is there any ledges?
I hope not, because you
You need to
guys are
get one
going
of
to
those-
Grant
You
will
get one of
find
those
them.
child leashes. Get one of those child leashes for Grant, so you guys don't lose them.
Oh, that's terrible. You guys are messed up.
What were you saying, Greg?
We love
But
you,
yeah,
Grant. We love Grant.
I just derailed that. But yeah, so I've never been to any kind of convention, so I don't know what to expect as far as what's going to be there. I don't want to know, actually. Honestly, I don't want to see any kind of layout. I just want to go and just let it hit me.
Yeah.
Boom, this is it. Take it all in.
Yes.
Like Zell on
I completely
Day
agree.
That's it. So
No. I love that idea. That's kind of what I do for movie trailers now, where if I know I'm going to see a movie, I won't even watch the trailer. I really would just want to go and get that experience and try to stay away from it. And speaking of movies, the one thing that I'm hyped about above all else, the Warcraft trailer debuting at BlizzCon. I mean, that is
yeah.
hype. I haven't touched my dick in 3 weeks because I am going to blow my load right when they show it. Literally. I feel sorry for the people in the front row in front of me.
I'm gonna take my cell phone and record my reaction to the Warcraft trailer, just because it's gonna be that epic. That place is gonna explode when that trailer gets launched. Because how long have we been waiting for a Warcraft movie of anything? What, 7-8 years since they started the project?
10.
So that's gonna rock people. That trailer's gonna be amazing.
You guys should stand shoulder to shoulder and have the person at the end record everyone's reaction at the same time.
Are
Yeah,
we
that-
bringing that selfie stick and a GoPro, like a 47-foot one? I think we said we were going to do that.
Just stick it in the
Are you gonna
devs'
wear a
faces.
GoPro and a helmet the whole
Yes.
weekend?
Like a bicycle helmet, too. Like, not like a bicycle helmet.
You mean not your beer dispensing plastic helmet?
Oh,
Put a
man.
couple of 40s in there and roll
God.
around. No, that to me, you know what? I'm kind of bummed they didn't have a lore panel or a movie panel this year. They don't I think they had a movie panel last year, and they took all that stuff out because, like Andrick was saying, they're so diversifying what they do now at BlizzCon. They just don't have time, and it's kind of just all encompassing. Which, in one way, I think, well, I want my thing to be big, and I want to do my thing. But another way, I'm like, you know what? Because they're getting this big, because they're branching out so much, when I go to the panels I want, maybe they won't be as packed. Or maybe I can experience something new now that I normally wouldn't have gone to. Like if it was all just WoW stuff, I might not go to the Diablo panel, or I might decide to skip out on a Hearthstone panel and say you have to decide between them. But when I look at the schedule, I don't know if you guys got it up. I kind of made my layout of what I want to do, and I don't really have any conflicts this year, which is nice. Like I'm gonna do, Overwatch is a couple of panels I'd love to see. I think that's gonna be big for me, but I think the piece de resistance of all of the event is the opening ceremony. That's where they do all the major announcements. They kind of they set up your expectations for that day. Because I remember going in 2009 when they announced, hey, Cataclysm's coming out. Oh, by the way, guys, go to the computer room. You can play it right now. We're like, holy shit, that's the first thing we did. We ran over. We had to go play Cata. We had to do the work in starting area. We had to see what was going on. And I love the way that they do that. And it's free for everybody. If you guys didn't know, so if you guys want to watch the opening ceremonies, check it out, BlizzCon.com. You can watch it there free. If you guys catch a glimpse of us, send a wave, tweet it, shout it, do a little dance. You'll see Marcus doing once in a while.
Let me say something about the opening ceremony, because let me tell you one, in the immortal words of Hulk Hogan, let me tell you something, brother. All right?
Nailed it.
Listen, the one thing that I need in my life for BlizzCon to really start off well, just go, if that is a word, that's what I need to happen.
It's not a word.
It's not a word.
It's a sound effect.
He's looking at that. He's looking at that metric dictionary again.
Listen, What I need and what I've been watching using the virtual tickets for the last however long they've had it is I need Chris Metzen doing the opening ceremony. Like I need that in my life to like be in the arena while he's there, just to kind of have a fucking geek moment and just go crazy. That needs to be a staple. So I'm really excited about that opening ceremony, not just because of all the reveals they have, but just kind of really experiencing it. That's when like BlizzCon, you feel the hype, you feel everyone united behind, you know, Blizzard. So I'm really, really, really excited about that opening ceremony.
It is
Yeah.
the shit. It's the tits. I mean, in fact, I admit, in 2009 I made a mistake. We showed up late to line. We got there like 10 minutes before the opening ceremony was supposed to start because I'm thinking these nerds aren't going to line up and do this shit early. We're going to be fine or whatever.
Yeah.
It took us 20 minutes to get to the back of the line to
Oh
enter
my
that building.
God.
You can find the parking lot on Google Maps. It's right behind Disneyland, is where we were at the end of that line in '09. It was not fun. And I'm just looking right
I
at
was
Dr.
so
Legend like,
fucking embarrassed. I was like, oh. I'm trying to
Yeah.
play it off like, no, it's cool. There are people behind us still. Like six.
Be worse.
so what are some of your guys' predictions for Warcraft? Any announced features? What are you guys thinking? I'll start with failure.
Predictions. I think we'll just get a lot of information about Legion. I don't expect anything major at this point. You know, what else are they going to announce more
I
important than
disagree.
the actual expansion?
I think they will say something really big that they haven't announced yet
Me
because they're
too.
still kind of tweaking it and going along because I think they don't want to do what they did last time where they overpromised and underdelivered.
So
Ooh.
you think
Good.
there's something big to still announce?
I think there's something they've been waiting on, like because they're very skeptical about what happened with WAD, with everything
Alright.
that we're talked about. I'm gonna say if I were a betting man, I'd put my money on that. I put my loonies on that.
And I actually agree. I agree because they've already announced the new PvP honor system and the artifact weapons and dungeons being a big part. But every expansion, there's a feature that they do announce, and it'll be one of those things where they're going to announce a feature because it's ready to be announced. If they were to announce that at Gamescom and then it not pop up, it would. Once again, people would feel like they got cheated. So I think there's a feature that is ready to be announced that's going to be included. And I think it's going to be most likely, I'm going to say something like an adventure mode because I think Blizzard wants to kind of push that solo content or some smaller group content. So I'm going to predict we're going to get some type of adventure
We already
mode-ish
did
type.
solo content. It's called Garrisons.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what I
Lost
would
a bit.
really like, one thing that I'm going to predict that they have, and it shouldn't be much of a stretch, would be, so they have time walking dungeons. How about come Legion time walking raids? People have been asking for that for years. Come on, just give it to us, Blizz. I mean, it shouldn't take long because we know they have the technology, so it shouldn't be hard to. I mean, how cool would that be? And keep them maybe not at the same level as the current raid that is out, but maybe like people can use that as catch-up mechanic. Like, how cool would it be like doing maybe not Molten Core, but like Ulduar, for example.
We tried that. That shit
Yeah.
was fun.
Like
I told you
Ulduar.
guys are all like, Molten Core is going to be fucking awesome. It's going to be so much fun. I'm just sitting here shaking my head
I
like,
love-
these guys have no fucking idea.
I love Andrew because he was like,
Fireland.
you know what? I'm glad they're doing the 40-man raid just so I can see how fucked up it is and nobody will ask for it anymore. But guess what? Nobody has fucking asked for 40-man raids anymore. It died. DED.
Yeah. That was
Another-
just...
One other thing that I mean, it's not really a prediction because I think you kind of hit it, is the adventure mode. One thing how I would like them to tailor adventure mode, you know, I would like them to make it a separate gearing path. I want maybe not gearing path, but at least a separate path from raiding. I don't want it to be tied to raiding.
You mean,
I don't want it
scenarios?
like scenarios. I don't want it to be
What
tied to
happened
the artifact.
scenarios?
They got rid of
They
them.
were, they were
I liked
amazing.
Scenarios. They were kind of fun.
Nobody did
Like-
them.
That's
Yeah.
probably why. You
Well, like,
think
just
people
some
will
kind of story content
You
outside.
think people do adventure mode if it's not worth it gear-wise though?
I think if the story is there I think they have to put in some gear into it, or at least some kind of cosmetic, some cosmetic items in there. But how cool would it be? Like, I'm tired of catch-up mechanic. Like, at least what we saw from this expansion is that the catch-up mechanics were just do LFR, or do garrison stuff. They need to expand their catch-up mechanic. They need to make it easier. We all have mains, but like an average Warcraft player has multiple tunes, and they love to play multiple tunes. So they need to make it easier for you to be able to gear them out. So having multiple paths, multiple ways to gear out, I think will be for the best.
Hey, just because you have multiple tunes doesn't mean you should play them.
Yeah, Rip Caldric.
Rip Keldrick.
I know, Rip Soldier Burn. Somebody deleted that bitch.
I deleted him.
You deleted him again?
The
Yes,
biggest.
don't worry. I'll be
How
back.
could you get that taint
Wow.
off you after you got beat by fucking Caldric? Or, not Krell, what's Granny's name? Beat us?
Bellis.
Bellis.
Beatus.
Beat
He was
us?
30 eye levels
Fetus.
higher than
He's got the Beatus.
Hey,
After all that Olive
Diabetes.
Garden he eats? Maybe.
nah, beef.
Hey, if Blizzard's gonna go nostalgic, they sure as hell went nostalgic with the band that they chose to close the convention with, Linkin Park.
Oh my god.
If
Thoughts.
they're- Hey, you know
Let's
what?
talk about that.
Let's Granny thoughts. Linkin Park at BlizzCon.
I have no interest, honestly, in any of their music except for like one song, and that's all I want to hear. So I really have no input on that at all.
Would you
That's
stick
why I
to
hate
the
them.
whole show just to hear that one song? Or just like if it doesn't play the first 5, you just take off?
Obviously, I'm paying the money. I'm going to be there. I'm going to watch them play. But if I had it my way, no, Linkin Park would be the last person I'd ask to play any ceremony of any sort.
Your money then, your money. Who would you pick?
Muse, hands down, done. Muse. Yep.
Oh, okay. I've never heard any of their music, but I imagine it's amusing.
Get it? Because they're named Muse.
I bet you Failure and Zell are like, we should have Bryan Adams there, man.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Justin
How about
Bieber.
Celine
Yeah.
Dion?
They want Justin
Biebs.
Bieber.
Or oh god.
Oh, no.
Bieber's
no
been
one
getting
likes
kicked
Justin
out of
Bieber.
every country he's played in except America. We can't do it. We can't get rid of
You
him.
guys got to take him back, man. We can't handle him.
No,
What
no,
about
you
Carly
guys
Rae
ruined
Jepsen? She could play too.
You guys
Yeah.
ruined him. You guys keep him.
No, no,
ruined
don't
him.
put that shit on us.
Oh god.
I
He was so
got
sweet when he came out.
I gotta admit though, when I think I was a junior or senior in high school when Linkin Park came out, I was listening to their CD like every day, at least the first two. So I'd like to at least see them live, probably for like one or two songs, and then I'm probably gonna turn to the boys and go, hey, let's just go grab a beer, man. I'm good. Like one
Yeah.
or two songs, I'm
Yeah.
good.
I feel the same way. I don't know if I'm going to stick around. I'd like to hear a few songs. There's other stuff I'd rather be doing because I mean, ceremony starts. The closing ceremony starts at 6 or something like that. 6 or 8. I don't know. I got a schedule here. They start at 6:30, the closing ceremony. So I'd hang till 7, and then I mean it's pretty much our last day together. I'd want to do something else, besides that only Legends Anonymous can handle. Whether it be an after party or just going out and hanging out with you guys, it's whatever. But I'll go with the group consensus. I'm not. This is Legends Anonymous is not dictatorship. No matter what it says or the 8 times we have it in our guild charter, it's not really. No.
Well, I'm kind of glad that it's Linkin Park because I don't listen to a lot of, let's say, punk rock music or. Yeah, okay, so I don't listen to a lot of punk rock music,
We call
so
them
Linkin
sad
Park,
metal.
Yeah. they're-
sad metal, or like that type of rockish music, it's not my genre. But Linkin Park is actually one of the few bands that I know, so I was really excited.
Because Jay-Z
Also,
did 2 songs with them. That's it.
well, yes, because Jay-Z did a song with them, but also,
I thought you would
It
pick
gives me-
Nickelback.
Oh God, no. No,
hey, don't you
please.
dare say anything bad about Nickelback. But
God.
this is one of the first times that I'm like at a punk rock band concert, so I want to put out a shout out to all the nerds and thoughts that are out there. I will be starting a one-man mosh pit So if you are
You're
interested
breaking
to join
chairs
me,
on people.
let's do this. Let's get this party started.
We've already had
don't-
this conversation. Zell's idea of a mosh pit is grabbing a folding chair and bashing someone with a fucking back. That's not a mosh pit.
That's
Yes!
assault with a
I
deadly
don't
weapon.
think
You
I don't think you
might
can mosh
get
the
hurt.
Lincoln Park.
Yeah, you
I don't
might.
think you can do that.
You
Listen,
gotta
it's
you
going
gotta
to
bring a
happen.
big bathtub, slit your wrists, and lay in it.
Hey,
Oh,
speaking
God.
of which,
There you go.
speaking of which, Dr. Legend, why don't you tell the viewers about our special contest for BlizzCon featuring the Tides of Lore cast?
That's right, guys. So, I mean, we're going to be there at the event, and big one for that is the Q&A. So, as you guys can see now, I'm sporting the amazing Legends Anonymous jersey, only available at legendsanonymous.com for Legends Anonymous Guild members. So, we're extending it out to the entire interweb connected universal healthcare system that exists out there in the world. A special contest that we're holding. We're trying to get our name out there, not just for our guild, but for the show to make sure you guys tune in. You know, I love hearing my own voice. I can listen to this all day, but we want to make sure express that everyone else gets to share in this. So, for everyone out there listening to this, we have a contest. It's called the Spot a Legend contest. So all you have to do is, during the live stream, anytime, if you spot one of us, you see our logo, you see one of our names out there, the jerseys are numbered. I'll make sure to make an official post about this and link it later so you guys can check on the YouTube page. If you see it during the live stream, all you have to do is take a screenshot and send it to us via email. Hey, gotcha, guys. Boom. And you're automatically entered into the contest.
And they can tweet us at Tides of Lore. They can tweet the photo to us as well, because we'll be tweeting photos of us there so they can see
I will
what
be
we
live
look like.
tweeting it at the Dr. Legend. That's mine. Also, for you BlizzCon attendees specifically, if you guys see us, any of us, one of us, all you gotta do is walk up, give us a high five. I'll be carrying a little notepad, and I'll enter you in the contest there as well. So,
Yes.
yeah, we have a cool contest going on. What's the prize? What are we giving away? Well, because Legends Anonymous is not only the best guild in Azeroth, we're also the most generous. Legends Anonymous is giving away a $50 gift card to the Blizzard store. Get your Blizzard gear, get your BlizzCon gear, buy yourself a game when it comes out, whatever you like. You have a chance to win. All you have to do is spot a legend. So for more details, please check the bottom of our YouTube page. Please feel free to reach out to any one of us if you see us on Reddit or on Twitter. Connect with us, talk to us, and look out for us because we're going to be there.
And the Twitter handle is at Tides of Lore, so tweet those photos to us, follow us on Twitter, and join in the contest.
And no, please don't tweet us any dick pics. I'm subscribed to like 6 channels of that, and I don't want to get lost.
Dick pics go to Andric.
Yeah, send them my way so I can forward them to Zell. I'm gonna filter for him.
Oh,
He only wants the biggest, blackest ones.
Speaking of biggest and blackest, I have one of the many things we're doing for our guild is certain surprises, and actually, this is some from guild-specific events, because at Legends Anonymous, we go beyond just raiding or gaming. We like to do stuff for our guildies and try to include us in other kind of events. I mean, before, Zelgadis did a great thing. He did an attunement quest. Hey, remember those guys? Zelgadis worked his butt off to write an original attunement quest for our guild that we would follow this path, and it was great. So, in the same vein, I've got one of the surprises, right here. What could it be?
What?
Uh-oh. There's a surprise in here.
It's a big dildo.
It could
It's
be.
the biggest, blackest dildo.
I see Zell's name on the back of it. Says insert in front, lube optional.
Loop optional.
But in all
Yeah.
seriousness, guys, I mean, that's something that I want to bring up to Blizzard, actually, and that's a great segue into the Q&A that we're talking about. So every year we hear a lot of complaints from people, oh, the Q&A sucks, they ask dumb questions and whatnot, and I kind of agree. They kind of ask the questions that they want to hear, and usually it's not the kind of questions that they'll get a good answer from. So as far as your guys are concerned, what kind of questions, A, do you want to ask, and B, do you think they'll actually have a solid, good answer for us? Let's start with you, Andric.
I think I'd ask them about their design intention behind garrisons, specifically what what they wanted to accomplish up until 6.2 when they added shipyards, because it felt kind of bare bones and half-baked up until shipyards, and even then shipyards was kind of redundant. It was basically garrison missions with ships.
Weren't one of you guys saying that garrisons were like underdeveloped and they weren't fun, and the devs thought there was like 2 or 3 months into the launch of WoD, and they said we can't get rid of it, we'll just throw it out there and just hope people like it? Wasn't one of you guys that said that? Is that what it feels like?
I heard that essentially a lot of people have come out, you know, now and have said that basically during the beta, you know, testing period, a lot of people made these requests to Blizzard and told them that there was all these problems with garrisons and they could see this kind of not lasting and having like some of the problems that we're currently experiencing now. People have called it out, I've heard, but I mean, the game was ready to go, you know, it had to be printed. So 3 million subscribers down, this is where we're at.
Granny, you have something to say about garrisons, don't you?
Yeah, they suck. They're terrible. I never liked the idea in general. I like the idea of a place like to call your own, but I don't think that was exactly what we wanted.
What question would you ask, Granny, if you were to get up there?
Honestly, ever since even in BC, the number of dungeons, raids, why has that number gone down? And you know, because that was BC, it's like a ton of content that way. Would they reconsider? Because if you look at the number now compared to then, there's a huge decrease. Will they, you know, increase the number of dungeons and also raids? That's what I would want to know.
I think that's great, just for the fact that they mentioned that at Gamescom. They're like, yeah, we want to make dungeons relevant again. I mean, I miss having those dungeons with the last patch. They added some great lore elements.
Yes.
I mean, patch 3.3, Pit of Sarah on Forge of Souls, and Halls of Reflection, Kata even with End Time, Well of Eternity. That was some great stuff to get you hyped up. And like Zell was saying earlier, I think that would be a cool catch-up mechanic, because that's what they did in Wrath, where you'd get your 232 gear, which was getting ready for Wrath's 10-man, was it 250 gear or whatever it was at the time? No, I think that's great. I think that's something that we need a solid reaction from them for. Look, we're noticing it, and the game's getting more expensive, but you're not giving us as much anymore.
Well, you know, I think there could be like a red shirt guy moment if Failure were to walk up and ask some questions. Now, what would you ask, Failure? Because I know you would rock them with a really good question to the point where they're like, yeah, I didn't think about that. I guess you're right.
You know, I don't really get into the lore and stuff. I'd ask them more along the lines of like, I don't understand like how one of the problems with WoD as I see it is that, you know, everything is about the carrot. It's about what incentivizes you to do content, and with the way that the raids sort of shower you with loot. You've got the raids, you've got the bonus rolls, you've got the garrison missions. It makes it very quick to move past all other content in the game. If I'd like to know if they understand, if they think that's a problem, and if they do, what they're going to do about it.
Damn.
Wow. See, there you go. What did I say?
You need to take
What
that
did I
mic
say?
and just drop it and be like, walk out.
Boom!
No, I think everyone complains, like Grant said, there's definitely less dungeons, there's less stuff they're releasing with every expansion, but I think that problem sort of, in my opinion, gets overshadowed by the fact that now, like, you get so much gear so quickly that it's really like, the dungeons in WoD were really good. They were good. But
I liked them.
You really do them for a short amount of time because you very quickly move past them in gear.
I love the WoD dungeons. They were great when I first hit 100, 2 weeks. They were great, but I absolutely agree. I think you move way too quickly. I think content is hot-shotted nowadays because a lot of things are streamlined. But you know what I would ask them?
Just to segue really quick. I know it's a little off topic, but does anyone else think Failure switched to beer just so Marcus wouldn't give him shit about drinking wine out of a wine glass anymore?
It's gone.
I think you're right out.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say the one question that I would ask is I would go right for the throat, and I would ask Tom Shilton. I said, "Do you honestly expect your model design of World of Warcraft to stand the test of time? And what changes long term do you have? What systems do you think need to be changed long term in order for this game to remain the 10-year tenure that it's had? I would corner them. I'd be like, what do you have? Because the same old system's not working anymore. What we're doing is not holding people together.
I'm afraid if you ask that, you're going to get a whole, well, we're trying to do different stuff, but legacy code and backpack still 16 slots. Next question.
I feel like just like the Blizzard customer service, Marcus is going to be escorted out. I don't know.
Customer
man.
service, even. Like, we
He's
have
probably
this-
flagged, man. He's not even gonna get in the front door. They're gonna know who he
Let's
is.
talk about the Q&A though. Like, how do you guys feel about the questions people ask? Because sometimes the questions they ask are so ridiculous. Like, I remember in BlizzCon 2013 or 14, somebody asked, "How come we can't change our gender at the barber shop?" Like, really? You've got the developers right in front of you.
Well,
and
my
that's
my model's male, but identify as female. How are you going to fix that, Blizzard? How are you going to fix it?
I just don't get it. You know, and that's
You know
where I
what?
want to try and get in line. I really am. I want to get in line, and I want to answer I want my question to be answered.
Yeah, it was very weird last year. Like, some of the questions that were being asked were very ridiculous. It almost felt like Blizzard, I mean, conspiracy, but Blizzard, like, asked people to, like, no content or no... Yeah, like, you know what I mean? It was almost like pre-planned because there's no solid information that was being generated from these Q&A. As for me, in comparison to Failure, I love lore. I'm all about the lore in this game. So what I would ask is, my question to Blizzard would be, what are you guys going to do so that moving forward, story is a big part of the level cap? So not questing, but level cap.
I think
And
you
Blizzard
need to hit 'em
always-
with the stupid Gromma shit that happened in Hellfire. By the way, guys, I'm good now. No, I'm serious. Hit them up with that. Just start that off, and then just lay into them lore-wise. Like, look, we got a great story here. It's a great game. It keeps us coming back. How you gonna keep, dangling that, like Bailey was mentioning, dangling the carrot in front of us, incentivizing us? Give us the meat. Give us something.
Exactly.
Well, let me ask you guys this question when it comes to lore and developing a story. Throughout WoW's history, they've always had the end boss featured right from the get-go. You had Illidan, you had the Lich King, you had Deathwing featured as the villain. You knew that was the villain. You knew how that's who you're going to fight. It seems like now they're moving towards streamlining the content lore, more episodic content. Like, why don't you tune into the next patch and find out that Garrosh is getting the what was that thing? The Heart of Ishar.
The Divine Bell. Yeah.
The Divine Bell. So, do you guys think do you think we should just know right off the bat who our big villain is and work towards it, or would you prefer the lore to be more episodic and find out as you go?
I say, look at what you've done in the past and see how that's succeeded for you. Like Lich King had him as soon as you got off the fucking boat. Quest number 4, the shaman goes, "Here, take this shit. Go see what's going on in the spirits of Niflvar." What the fuck? What's the Lich King doing over here? I got pimp smacked by him. Holy shit, this is real. This guy will kill me.
That was all in the
Honestly.
quest text.
Yes.
Honestly. And the sad thing was, like, Deathwing seemed like it was doing that, but you didn't see a lick of Deathwing from the pre-patch until you got to Twilight Highlands, and you could skip Twilight Highlands if you wanted to, so you wouldn't even see Deathwing until the very end. And they kind of brushed him off with the quest. Oh, him and Alexstrasza fought, and he's kind of weak now, so he's gonna go recover a little bit more until the final patch. I think as long as they can tell a good story, I don't care how they deliver it. Just get me,
Exactly.
if you send out patch 7.2 and it's taken from a cliffhanger from 7.1, fine. I don't care as long as you've got me, captivate me, get me wanting to play the game. It's gonna be like Metal Gear Solid 5, where I've been dying to play that game. I've been waiting for it, salivating over it, and I haven't touched it after like the 3rd week because the story just wasn't there. Incentivize me with your lore that brought me and has kept me into this game. It doesn't matter how it's delivered.
I mean, the lore in Warlords was just super disjointed, right? I mean, there was just they'd feed you some story, and then you go to the next step of that story, and everything you've just seen or done was either different or irrelevant, and it made no sense. It's like, you go into Hellfire Citadel after having just killed Bonkhand in Blackrock, and you feel like you're going to probably run into Grommash and Gul'dan, and they're probably going to be the last bosses or whatever. But no, Grommash is good. You're fighting Manoroth and Archimonde. You know, suddenly the Burning Legion is just up in your face after having a fringe presence the whole expansion. It was just not. It didn't feel like a very well developed story. In my opinion.
They probably cut a lot of stuff, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean the whole expansion feels like 50% of it was left on the cutting room floor. From the lore to the cities being cut in beta, the capitals, and the garrisons being kind of meh, not really much to them. I mean, it was just, the expansion of content.
And when it comes to lore, one of Blizzard's favorite buzz phrases is, we want to make this like the 5.1 dailies, where you had a little bit of, you had some quests, and then every day or two you get a storyline, We kind of want to make it like 5.1 dailies, which they tried to make the garrison, but instead of like every day or two you get some storyline, it was every week. Now let me ask you guys, how many of you guys have done the garrison campaigns and completed them?
Never touched it.
Nope.
Never touched it. There was no incentive for me to do it.
Yeah, failure. What's the incentive?
Can't hear you.
Everything's about the carrot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Everything's about the carrot, yeah.
His audio device hasn't passed their custom test.
And that's the problem with World of Warcraft these days. Was in vanilla and BC, it was more about just the experience of just playing World of Warcraft. Now, everybody needs a carrot in front of them to do something. What am I going to get out of this if I do this? I don't have enough time anymore. I'm not 20 years old sitting in a college dorm anymore. I'm 30 and I have a job to get to in the morning. So I think that they need to incentivize everything, and that's hard. They've got a tough task ahead of them. So I don't envy Blizzard right now. They've got a real tough task and a tough audience.
What about your late teen, early 20-somethings that have that time that don't need the incentive, that want that experience that we had, 5-6 years ago?
Here's their problem,
that's
though.
a good question.
Here's
You're
their
playing
problem.
League of Legends.
And this is my theory.
Good point.
Trolls.
It's true.
Here's my theory about World of Warcraft is World of Warcraft is not competing with other games. World of Warcraft is competing with anything that gets you off of your chair. It's competing with television. It's competing going out to the bar with your friends. So I think right now the cool hip thing is not to sit at your computer and play WoW. It used to be, back in like 06 to maybe 2010, it was the cool thing to play WoW all the time. It's just not the game anymore, unfortunately.
To jump on your last comment, I truly believe that WoW is one of those games where it's, whether you're playing or not, if you've ever played WoW for a specific amount of time, you are at your core a WoW player. The story resonates with you, and if Blizzard were ever to make a storyline that was good, a patch that was good, an expansion that was good, you would come back. I strongly believe that we can get back to 10 million, we can get back to 12 million and more. Blizzard just has to be committed. They have to deliver on good product. Warlord was not a good product. I mean, just look at some of the storyline. I mean, we're just going back to storyline. Just look at, rest in peace, Admiral Taylor. But look what they did to Admiral Taylor.
That was such bullshit. Come on.
Let's go through that, because I might just sob like a baby.
So content. So you're saying, Zell, that if they give a good story and good content, that alone will hold subscriptions?
I truly, in my heart of heart, believe that good story, good content will hold players. People want to play WoW. They associate with WoW has developed to more of a game. It's no longer just Blizzard's World of Warcraft. It's your WoW. It's Jake's WoW. It's Rain's WoW. You know what I mean? Like, the experiences that we've had over these 10 years have turned it into, like, WoW is part of my everyday. And, I log into WoW maybe for an hour or two, maybe 30 minutes, almost every day. It's part of my everyday. It's just like brushing my teeth or anything like that. So I really believe that people are invested in this game. What they're not invested in, or what they're not going to take, is bullshit from Blizzard, getting a patch like 6.1,
Oh,
getting
shit.
no
This one off
content.
the handle.
Oh, here go. There's
Bring 'em
Zell's
down,
vet
guys.
session.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well,
That's what they're not going to take.
I mean,
my only response to that would be just go on Reddit, man. I love reading Reddit because somebody posted a thing. What keeps you going in this game? And 9 out of the 20, I think no, it was like 9 out of the 13 responses were the people I played with, and I think that's what really sets the bar for WoW is who are you really playing with? I mean, I have very good memories of Warlords of Draenor, not because the content was meh. I thought the rating was good, but I played with all of you. So I think that's what it all really boils down to: is are my friends playing it? Is it the cool thing to play?
Agreed.
do you think now, discussing it, just taking it back to BlizzCon, all the stuff we're discussing, I mean, it's a real hotbed subject or whatever. Do you think, as gamers going in there to see this convention, that they will address any of this stuff before the Q&A? Do you think it is going to come up? Because they talked about the dungeon thing a little bit, but because they knew we were talking about it. But as far as the carrot, incentivizing players, doing things like that, do you think this is stuff that they know about? Because that's usually, if it's stuff they know about, it's usually stuff during the Q&A that they won't answer, or they'll just give us some kind of, well, we're looking into it, or that's something where we've talked about but we haven't done.
I think we'll have most of our answers, and the Q&A will just be more questions about what we heard.
One thing I would like Blizzard, not necessarily to do, but I don't need them to do this, but it would be nice if they did this. During the whole process of Warlords of Draenor, there was a whole, the communication that was being done by the developers, it was a clusterfuck. A lot of the information were miscommunicated. There was that whole, is 6.1 a patch or not a patch? One developer says one thing, the other developer says another thing. So I would like them to come out and say, you know what, Warlords was not some of our best thing, but this is what we are doing for Legion. Keep in mind that Legion is an expansion that they've been working on since Mist of Pandaria. They started working on Legion around the same time as they started working on Warlords. So they've had about 3 years to develop this expansion.
Yeah, well, look what they did with the 7 years that they did with Diablo. I mean, you could always it would always go back to that. Look what they did with 7 years.
That's a good point. I mean,
Well, yeah, but the problem with something like that is when you have that long of a development cycle, the game that we got that ended up being Diablo 3 at launch was completely different than the game they started on 7 years ago. So
Exactly.
you could say that that's really kind of a silly argument because any game that goes through that many iterations, like what was it, Duke Nukem Forever, took 15 years or something like that to come out.
I bet you they did not use any of the original code in the final product.
Oh,
They
no
brought
way.
it out redone
Yeah.
9 or 10 times.
Yeah.
But to kind of wrap up everything we're talking about, I mean, we're all of us. I think we should go up there as a guild. I mean, imagine us lined up, 6 or 7 of us in the jerseys, one after another, asking these hard-hitting questions. I'm dead serious. I mean, not just for exposure for us or hey, we're cool, we do all this stuff, but I think we have the right mindset to ask these kind of questions because we're the kind of people that other people want to hear questions from. And I know it was a big hot issue on a Reddit thread on the WoW subreddit the other day. So I'm going to pose that to everyone out there listening. If you could ask a question, what question would you ask? I think we should post a thread on the subreddit to see what the ones gets the most votes. I'm curious just to see what other people want to ask because we're complaining and bitching about it. For one, I had pitched an idea to all the guys here before, and for the one that they thought was the best was asking how to make guilds relevant again.
Yes.
To me, all a guild feels like now is in the game. It just feels like a buddy group list. Oh, here's my buddy list of guys that I normally game with. When Kata came out, they did the leveling system. They incentivized you to go out and do stuff with your guild. I feel like they should just expand upon that. We have guild achievements. Oh, kill a boss, get 1,000 gold. We should be doing stuff like, hell, kill all the bosses today, get this prize. Get a free piece of loot, BOE that you can get delivered as a, or if you get an achievement, everyone has a chance to roll either gold or a free item or something like that from a random boss. Just something else to get people to stick with their guilds. As you know, as for Legends Anonymous, we've been doing stuff outside the game to bring people in and to keep fostering our community. We have Photoshop contests, we have caption contests, we have a website that our wonderful developer Smashbox keeps tabs on. I do think we have the best website, best guild site in the internet, hands down.
Mhm.
I mean, if it weren't for porn, we'd be the #1 viewed website.
Oh my god, what if we put porn on the website? Boom.
Brilliant!
Mind blown.
Legends
We'd
Anonymous
break-
porn. All right, Grant, take your shirt off.
Take one for the
hey,
team.
oh, wait, hey.
Hey,
That kind of
oh,
show.
hey.
So
We got a week till that.
So remember to look out for us at BlizzCon and tweet to us at Tides of Lore because we're going to be there. And if you want to meet us or if you want to participate in the contest, that's our Twitter handle.
Yep. So hey, see us there. Give us a high five. Remember, for the Alliance, fuck the Horde. So signing off from Arizona. We'll see you guys next time. Our post BlizzCon show. Be sure to check it out. I'll see you guys in a week.
All right,
Yes!
guys.
See you guys.
See you guys at the airport. Take care, guys.
It's-
See ya.
Take care.